we're live. Isn't that fun? All the technology, I say. So I'm so excited to talk to Anita Resnick today with Commercial Blind. You just said it to me, and of course the coffee hasn't kicked in.
Commercial Blinds and Drapes.
Commercial Blinds and Drapes. I don't want to get it wrong, because if you know Anita like I know Anita, she's been to I feel like all of our houses. I've only been in 2 houses in my life. You have done the blinds in both. I'm not even sure how we really met, but I'm sure it was a referral. I'm going to guess, because is that really, we'll go backwards and forwards, but is that really how people find you? Is that a big, kind of how people sort of hear about you, as referral business?
Actually, yes. The majority of my business, it used to be like 85%, but it's got to be about 90 now, especially with COVID, is from referrals, from personal referrals, especially now with Facebook and Nextdoor. Yeah, I get so many referrals because on Nextdoor, they'll write, I'm looking for blinds. And the guy called me yesterday. He said, your name came up 5 times, literally.
Okay.
So most of my business is personal referrals.
So let's go backwards, because I'm sure, back in the day when I first bought my first home, I'm guessing like my realtor said, there's not a blind or light, in my house. And then you move again and you're like, why are there no blinds or lights in this house? I mean, you think you move the second time and there'd be blinds or lights, but you walk into a house, I'm like, how did these people live? No blinds or lights. So anyway, tell me about your business. And you've been doing this a long, long time. So tell me a little bit about you and how you got into it. And as I told you, we're just casual. So for those out there in the world who don't know how wonderful you are,
oh God, thank
you are.
Well, it's not a real long story, but I don't want to drag it out. But I've actually been in 2 fields of business my entire life. One was fine jewelry, and I started that in 11th grade. And I stayed with the man that had hired me all the way through. And when I was a sophomore in college, he offered me a partnership. So I left college because I didn't know what I wanted to be, and went full time into the fine jewelry business. And back then we supplied Hudson's. Okay, so we're talking a long time ago, for those that don't know what Hudson's is.
Green bags and all.
And then we opened up a retail place that we also had a bridal registry. So I was with fine jewelry. I was with him for about 15 years, approximately. And then he paid for me to go through the GIA. So I was a diamond appraiser, an appraiser of jewelry. And I went with another company and started their appraisal service and buying of old gold. And then my husband, Tut, at the time, was working for a wallpaper and paint company. And back then, blinds were just the mini blinds, the aluminum, and the verticals. And we used to laugh about it because, Tut was colorblind, so I had no idea how he knew what color he was selling people. But eventually, that job ended, and he wanted to go to law school. He said he always wanted to go to law school. So he started law school in January 1980, and that is when we opened up. My girlfriend Cheryl Altman came up with the name Blind Ambition. So we added the Tut in it, so it was Tut's Blind Ambition. He passed the bar October of 83, and at that time, our father was in a tragic car accident that left him a double amputee. So he could no longer go back to work at Jack L, because back then they didn't have handicapped bathrooms. So that's when Tut passed the bar, he looked at me and he said, why don't I do law and you do blinds? So I didn't go back into jewelry. So I went into the blind business. We ended up hiring my parents. And the man the building that we were working out of put in handicapped bathrooms. And Tut practiced law for a little bit, and business was so good that he said, God, you're doing such a great job. I got to come back into business. So that started, I came on board in February 84. In 89, we opened up Commercial Blinds and Drapes to be a women-owned business so that we could compete with minority companies. So that's how all that started. So we had both companies. I really did more residential and he really did more commercial.
Mhm.
And then as time went on, I mean, Tut and I unfortunately got divorced. He got Blind Ambition. I got Commercial Blinds and Drapes. Didn't know if I wanted to stay in it. So I took a couple diamond courses to see if I still had it, if I wanted to go back into jewelry. And then I said, you know what? It's going to cost a fortune for insurance to do appraisals. And long story short, I already had the phone number. I had the company name. So I went and got my real estate license and thought that I could be a realtor and then sell the homes. So I worked over at Real Estate One from 5 to 7, Monday through Friday. They had 100 realtors. So all of a sudden I was getting so many referrals. And then I just went into it full time.
Yeah.
And that's how I do it. I mean, I know a lot of people. I get, like I say, 90% of my business is referrals. Some comes like they'll Google online and they'll find me and they'll call me because I ask each person who I do not know, how did you get my name and my number? And then I track it.
So, I always say, like, my business is referral too. And I think that it's all about customer service. And Anita, I do know you. I mean, I know you from putting blinds in my house. Let's start there. I know you personally now because we're, in a networking group together. And part of that networking group is referring. And it's easy to refer you because you're good at what you do. And you're spunky and you're fun and you have great, you're lively and all those wonderful traits. But the truth of the matter is, most of us know nothing about what you do. And I'm a firm believer in you hire an expert. You hire the best. And that doesn't mean, I think people get nervous because they're like, well, you hire the best, that means it must be costly. And, that's not necessarily true. People have budgets for when they're building a home or when they're needing something in their home. And I know for me, it took a long time personally to do the blinds because sometimes you don't just go in and put the blinds in. You sort of sit with it for a while. And some people know what they want. I had no idea. I knew, I'm sitting in my office and I'm looking at my blinds. I can't tell you how long it was. Thank God I have blinds now because, I'm doing this FaceTime live and the sun would be, shining through as it is. But I didn't know. And I love that you came in and you were like, okay, well, this is what you need. And then do you want the string on the right or the left? And I'm looking at you going, huh? And I laughed, because we're going to talk about trends and things like that. But it took me back to when you did that at my first house and you won't remember this, but I do because it brought me back. And I was thinking about this interview when you said, do you want the cord on the right or the left? Where's the baby's crib? And I was like, huh? And I thought, okay, I can so refer you because here you think about these things. Like, how's the baby going to get out of their crib? How are they going to stand up? Are they going to pull? And like every mother's nightmare, right? Yeah. Is the crib too close to the window? Are they going to pull on it? But, these are the things like us moms don't think about. I'm sitting at my desk. I can just pull on the cord. I don't have to reach over or anything. But no, I mean, your stuff. So there's my referral, everyone. But I mean, these details that I know you're supposed to know, but you do. You come in and you just know. And I love that with that smile. But, so I do want to talk about a little bit, how is it that when you walk into a home of any size, you help people to determine, like, do you look around and say, how do you get a feel for what people like us idiots, what do you think, how do you feel like what they need?
Well, I do ask questions, like if they have any ideas of what they want. And then when I do get there, I'll say, how much privacy do you need? Because if they have a beautiful view, you don't want to block it. Uh-huh. Obviously, in a bedroom, you want more privacy. So there's options of what they want. If they, right now, roller shades, I mean, everybody's buying roller shades and cellular shades, and the roller shades can be blackout. Some people might not want the room totally dark all the time. So that's where the cellular shade can come in handy, the top down, bottom up, which means the shade can come from the top down and go from the bottom up. So they could have the privacy on the bottom while they're getting dressed, but have the light coming in from the top, or if their neighbors are out there. They have a front bedroom. They don't want everybody on the street seeing them. They come cordless, which a lot of people want now because of children.
You can tell how long ago you've done my.
Well, a lot of motorization now for those that want to like just lie in bed and click away. Every man's dream is the remote. I also supply interior designers. So sometimes I'm going on the job for them, and they're going to be the ones that, unless they ask me my opinion, I don't volunteer, because the designer is the one that's doing the designing. Same with architects. I do, in fact, there's a building, I don't know if they're condos, I never really, or apartments, I think, in Birmingham, that I do all the blinds, and it used to be verticals. They call me up every time that somebody turned over, and we put in a new blind. Well, now they're changing all of those to roller shades. So like this afternoon, I have 2 apartments to go measure for the roller shades, and they're all doing the perforated ones, but there's different densities. So they're doing a 1%, where 0 would be blackout. But when they're on the 8th floor, they don't need blackout, so they get a little bit of light, but they have all the privacy they want. And gotcha. So, yeah, I can talk with the people and figure out, like you said, are there children in the room? How old are they? But childproof laws now, cords have to be drilled in. They cannot just be hanging, because obviously there's been some tragic accidents.
Are there places that you as in your own business have to be stay up with like workshops, or do you have to go back, do you have to go through licensing of sorts?
No, I mean, there's some, if you want, they're not for doing what I do. I mean, but there's a lot of seminars, especially now with COVID. Hunter Douglas, Graber, they have them all online, the fabric companies. And you go and you plug in and you watch all the products, because we would go there, literally go. They have them here. They come, and all of people like me, we go to the seminars, and we go from room to room, and we see all the products. And now they're doing it online. So like I say, motorization is really big right now. So now there's different kinds. There's what they call rechargeable batteries. Instead of having to climb up and change your AA batteries, now you just plug it in, and you plug it in the wall, and it recharges. And you might have to do it once or twice a year.
So with COVID,
I learn all that in the seminars.
So with COVID, tell me a little bit, because I know I talked to you a little bit about, because of this networking group, we were all supporting one another and how we were doing business, business, and we we're doing that now too. Your business itself, you're going into a home, and certainly during COVID, that became quite an issue, and sort of shut down for a while, like most businesses. But you were going in if nobody was there, correct?
I would go, if the homeowner was there, they had to wear a mask. If they don't wear a mask, I don't go in. I really don't want more than 2 people in the home. So like I was at a house the other day, and the husband was on the other side of the house. I was with the woman, and then she actually said to me, you know what, leave the book right here. Let me go through it, and you go wait on the porch, because my kids are sleeping, but they're teenagers, and I know they hang out with their friends, which I really appreciated. Another one said, the nanny, take the kids out of the house. I mean, I just don't want to be around a lot of people from my family. I want to see my kids and my grandkids.
Right.
And everybody is on board with that. I haven't met anybody that one client didn't have a mask. They thought they couldn't find it, and I wouldn't go in. I said, we'll have to reschedule. Everybody else has a mask. They wear it. I wear it. Same on commercial jobs.
Right.
The commercial jobs were really easier. The commercial jobs were easier before everyone went back to work, because the buildings were empty. So I would just meet whoever was in charge, and I'd measure all the windows.
Are you able, you actually have books, so you're able to show the books and not with your one-on-one with clients, not then it's not necessarily online. Is that
Oh,
how
no,
it's?
if I'm going there, I bring the samples. That way
Okay.
we can match up the color. If they want to do it online, I can show them how to measure the window. I can always mail them a swatch, which I've done plenty of times, and they can match it up and see what they think. And
That's a
then,
little more challenging, I would think.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Well, now everyone's a little easier on letting people in their home,
right.
and my installers are great. I mean, that's the
Your
main thing
installers
too.
are great. Yeah. Yeah. You definitely have great install. They're funny. I have been with your installers too as well.
And I
Okay,
have one
so
guy that actually, one gentleman who used to work for Tut and I, who he actually opened up his own business. So I'm really proud of him. And he does all my repairs because I will do repairs on products that I don't even sell. And if people need a repair, they call me. And that's a big part of where they get me from the yellow book. Because many
is there
seniors
still a
don't,
yellow book?
they're not making it anymore. But many seniors don't go online and they'll look in there and I tell them, save
Right.
the book. And my guy will go out and repair stuff that even I did not sell, and he does it on site.
Mhm.
So that's a big
I think
plus.
that's really important to know because I mean, I know the house I left behind, I laugh if we ever drive by those, the vertical blinds and what went in there, like that was, the early 90s. I have wood ones now, and this has been a long time. So we're probably due for the motorized, but I'm not giving my husband motorized. He can get up and crank or turn, like the other night we were laughing though, we were trying to kill a fly and he was like lifting it up and they're heavy, the wood. We have like the wood nice
Yeah.
blinds. Talk to me about people are probably laughing, but I'm hopefully we're giving some great like tips and things like that. Talk to me about cleaning blinds and well, first of all, I'm gonna back up before we talk about cleaning, because of course I'm type A and want to know about cleaning. But what's the difference between like blinds, shutters, people drapes? Like, is there something that's more trendy, or is there something that really is so out of date, like nobody does anymore? Is there?
Verticals, I'm doing mostly on door walls. The people that still
Okay.
want it on a door wall because it slides over, and if they have a dog and they want to just let it in, let it out, and that way they don't have to be totally exposed by putting a type of shade that goes all the way up. I
Okay.
look at shutters as like a piece of furniture. I mean, they last forever,
Yeah.
and they make them in wood and in faux wood. And the blinds that you're talking about come wood and faux wood, and those are a staple. You got to dust them. I mean, that's a horizontal. You have to dust them.
Right.
Some other products that are the fabric should be professionally cleaned. And I do offer that as a service where I'll give out the people's name and they deal with them direct. Same thing
How
like
often
with,
do you have to clean a fabric?
you got to be careful with fabric. You're better off getting it professionally cleaned.
But
Some of them,
how
if
often?
it's a
Like,
polyester, how often? Well, I would say once a year if you want them to
okay.
last really long.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's a shade that's a polyester or a vinyl, you can just wipe it down yourself.
Right.
Same thing
Right.
with the horizontals. You can
I
wipe
do.
those.
I do. I do wipe those down. Yeah. I mean, it gets dusty.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the
happens.
whole point.
That's right.
um, what's a common and I think about this. What's a common mistake that you find that people, when you enter the house and people say, I want this, and it may be a common mistake that people think they want? Do I mean, I know you
Well,
entered my house and I had no idea. I said,
no.
here,
Well,
here are my windows.
no, that's a great question because there's some people that want to put and like a brand name that people know for Hunter Douglas. Hunter Douglas owns many companies and they have
Mhm.
the same product. It doesn't say Hunter, so it might be less money. But like a silhouette, that's a very expensive product. And I would never put it in the bathroom because it can't take the moisture.
Mhm.
And that's important. It's going to ruin. I wouldn't put it in a kid's room because they're going to ruin it. It's more dining room. I
Mhm.
mean, I put it in a master bedroom because they're going to be more careful with it, and they do come room darkening. Shutters is another thing. If you don't want your kids to play with it, you don't want stuff down at the bottom.
Oh yeah, can
So
you
you
see
want something that can get up and get out of the way.
up and down all day?
Yeah. And they'll break it. I mean, it's just,
Yeah,
it's not their fault. That's what it is. It's just there.
right.
So you
And
have
so-
to be children friendly too.
So what's your best tactic for talking someone out of something they want? You just flash them that smile.
Yeah, you know what? I shoot from the hip. What you see is what you get. And I know the people that know me.
Really?
Know
I know.
Yeah.
I can believe that.
I don't hide it well. I just come out and tell them, I don't think you really want that. And then I tell them why. And they agree.
I always tell people, with me, same thing. You get what you get. Like you called me, you're gonna get honesty. Sorry.
Right. I don't sugarcoat well.
Yeah. No, well, that's true. Look, it goes back to you hire an expert, right?
Yeah.
You want your 3-year-old breaking your blind every day going.
That's right. That's right.
So I don't want to, I know you have appointments and I don't want to take much of your time. And I do think that it's one of these services that people need. And when they need it, they need it. It's not someone you call every day. I'm not calling you every day to put blinds in, but I think it's one of those services that, you go from house to house or your friends and you pass the name along. And I think it's very true that in all these Facebook groups that we have now, and you see and someone says, who would you recommend? Your name is going to pop up because you've been doing it a long time. Is there any thing that you want to bring up about your business that that you want people to know about what you do?
Yeah, thank you. One thing is that obviously I make my own hours, so I do work weekends. My estimates are free. I don't charge to come out, and I'll go through the whole thing with you, bring the samples, I'll take the measurements, I'll send you the quote. You're under no obligation. I work weekends. I do not like to work in the evening in the winter, but I will do it when the weather's nice. And I make my own appointments, and you're going to get me extremely casual because I can be in new construction and then I can go into a $5 million home, but you're going to get me dressed the exact same way. You're not paying for my wardrobe. I have no overhead.
I like that.
My prices are great. And my installers are great. And if there's a mistake, we take care of it. I mean, things happen.
And I think that's important. I think that's really important because I think that, you're not 9 to 5 because people aren't necessarily 9 to 5 in their own home.
Right.
And, I may take care of it in my home, but somebody else may want their husband who is not necessarily home, so that you're flexible, and that you can be there when both parties are at home if need be, or on a weekend. I think you've adapted to COVID.
Yeah.
That I think that we've all had to, but that your business alone, where you're having to directly go into a home, particularly you're learning to go back to the construction sites or new apartments and things like that. I think, anyone watching, I think what's important is to know that you do apartments, complexes, condo complexes, residential, offices. I mean, there's no limit to where your business can be. And that's important. You're not bound to a home residential. So
I'm not bound to just like in the neighborhood. I mean, we just installed a job I did in Clinton Township yesterday. I mean, I go everywhere. I'm at Howell's being installed next week. I mean, I don't mind. I mean, it's my job.
Yeah. Well, and you're really fabulous at it. And I'm so glad I coerced you to come and talk to me. Because I did coerce you, but I did it for a reason, and that is because the bottom line is that I feel like this is an opportunity for me to make sure that people know about you. I think your work is fabulous. And you stand by your work. But not only that, like you said, we use these blinds, we use our home, and after time, things are going to break. We're going to break them, not you. We're going to break them. And so, we are all on Facebook in these home groups going, how do we fix this? How do we fix this? How do we fix that? And this is an area where we can also say, okay, call Anita. She knows, and she will get it fixed for us. Because I can't tell you how many times I'm in my home and I'll say something broke and I'll be like, okay, I've had it a while. Now what do I do? It's that helpless feeling. And so, you can't take it back to the store. So it's so great to talk to you. Tell everyone how to find you.
Oh, and one more thing, if you don't mind me interjecting.
Yes.
Another thing I do is window film.
Oh, it's window film.
Like even on skylights, like if the sun's beating in on you, we can put a film on it. And I've done this a lot in conference rooms so that the people in the conference room can see out in the hall, but the people walking around the office building can't see in the conference room. But in your own home, sometimes those windows, if you have transom windows and you don't want to put a blind on it, you can film it. And my guy's great. But how interesting is that for all of us who are working at home? I have a door here. I laugh since my 3 adult children have come home. I'd like them not to see. That you can frost. We can frost that so they can't see it.
I laugh because we're all working from home, and it's like, it's not even my kids. It was when my husband was working from home and he kept walking by, and I was like, okay, is this what you do at your office? You just walk around all day? And the good thing is he doesn't have Facebook, so he can't hear me complain right now. But, we laugh, but, we're all working from home and we have these windows on the world now. And we're like, why can they see us in our home office? So that's a good one to know about.
Yep. I do jobs out of state. I get somebody to measure it and I can supply the blinds and have them shipped direct to them and get them an installer. Everything can be made possible if they want.
So that's great. And people who, work with you here, that's so comforting to know, especially if they have a second home or a home up north, if we can ever get to our vacation homes or.
It's interesting you mentioned that. Somebody called me yesterday and he got me on the internet. He has a broken blind and it's in his up north home. So he brought it back to get fixed. It's brand new. I said, well, where did you buy it? It's under warranty. And he told me that he bought it online. I'm not going to mention the name of the company. And when he calls, they say they're closed due to COVID. But you can still buy blinds. So I laugh and I'm thinking, okay, they're closed for you to fix a blind, but they're open for you to purchase a blind.
Sure.
So I hooked him up with my repair guy and I said, you got to pay for it because really with the other company, it's under warranty. You shouldn't have to pay for this. It's 3 months old. Right. So I do take care of all of my clients. The best way to reach me, my business line is 248-737-4430. I do have a Facebook work page. You can go on Facebook and get to me that way. I really don't think I want to give out my mobile.
No, you don't have to do that. But I think
you're more than welcome. And I call back right away.
Yeah, since we're on Facebook, definitely check out Anita on her Facebook. She's great. She definitely will get back to you. I can't thank you enough for spending time with me.
Well, thank you for having me. Can I do my little tagline?
Yes.
Okay, so I do have a tagline. It's like, if your window treatments aren't becoming to you, you should be coming to me.
I love that. Look at you.
I stole it from a hairdresser.
Well, look, not only do you have a tagline, you gave credit. And I always tell people, if you're going to steal it, credit them. Why not?
Credit to me. Yep.
So, Anita, thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah. This was great.
If something breaks, I'll call you. And I'm pretty set here, but God knows those 3 kids are all moving into places. And, I just said to my one in Chicago, remember, there's no lights, there's no blinds. I don't know. I think people take them as they go out the door. So thank you so much. I love seeing you.
Terry, thank you. Be well, stay healthy.
To
Give my
you
best to your
always.
husband.
Thank you.
Appreciate
Have
it.
an amazing day.
You too. Thank you.
Talk to you soon.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.